Hello, and thanks for joining me for today's video, which is about Airtable formulas. We are going to learn how to create if logic in our Airtable formula fields, and once we've done that, I'll show you how to nest if statements as if they were little birds all sat in a wee formula nest, and you, dear viewer, are the mother bird off to find some nutrition for your little formula offspring. If you're new to the channel, and let's face it, I'm new to the channel, so you probably are also new around here. My name is Andy, and I have lots of robot pals that are a visual representation of the concept of automation, which is a metaphor I think I've taken a little bit too far. The overall idea of this channel is to help you automate the boring bits of your work. So if you like it, I'd be grateful if you smashed that like button, or you could just subscribe or do something else. That would be very nice, and we can start getting into some Airtable formulas. So here we have a table that I'm going to delete this part of. Now, the first thing I wanted to show you here was really how to create if formulas in Airtable. It's always it's quite intimidating when you're starting to learn this stuff, and I found it myself. Just like, what is happening? Why does this do this? And especially with nested if statements, it's really hard to kind of get your head around at first. But I'm going to give you a few simple tricks to just make it a lot easier on yourself, especially with nested if statements. Let's hop into this kind of base that I've got. As you can see, we've got age and weight, right? So let's say we wanted to find out if this person is over the age of 18, right? How would we do that? Well, there's a number of ways we could do it. First of all, we could just filter. We got a filter here, and we say age is greater than 17. So then here we have all of these users. So there's 409 records where the age is over 18. Now, if a filter can do that, then great, you don't need to do anything else. But if you need to bring that data somewhere else, if you need to visualize that data or even make decisions based on that data, we might want to have an if statement. And we can do that here. I'm just going to insert a field here. I'm going to basically walk through what the if statement does. And we're going to make this a formula. And then here, we're going to start our if statement. How would you start an if statement? Well, it's not as complicated as you might think. You start off by saying if. So you type in if. And then what's really good about Airtable is it kind of walks you through all of this anyway. A lot of what we're going through, it kind of takes you through it, but assumes that you know what you're doing a little bit. So what we're going to do is follow the logic of this. And as you can see, this says if sales is greater than 50 on the left hand side, we choose win and then lose. We're going to do something very similar. So we can say if age is greater than 17, and then what we do here, right, so we've made our very first statement. We've said if age is 17, but one if statement needs is 3 inputs. It needs the condition, which we've just written. It needs the value if true, and then the value if false. Okay? Does that make sense? So let's recap. An if statement needs 3 inputs. It needs the conditional logic that you want to test against. Then after the first comma, it requires the value you want to send if true, and after the second comma, it requires the value you want to send if false. So we can say here, if it's true, we can say over 18. And if it's false, we can say under 18. And then crucially, what we do is we close that bracket. So we close it because here's the start of the if statement and here's the end of the if statement. I'm going to create the field here, and we can see we've got a whole bunch of people that can legally buy alcohol in the United Kingdom, but not in the US. Sorry, folks. I don't really know what to do with that. So we can say here, we can say instead of over 18, we might say UK eligible, right? And we can say UK ineligible. So here we've got all of these people who can drink in the UK, and obviously if we change this to less than 17 or less than 18, it would say UK ineligible. So all of these people are not eligible to drink in the UK. But what happens if we wanted to find out if they are eligible to drink in the US? Well, we do something very, very similar, and we can duplicate this field. So I can show you here. We've got a duplicate statement, a duplicate formula, but what we can do here is we can make the age over 20, right? Because you can drink when you're in the US when you're over 20, and we can say US eligible and US ineligible, right? So we can see here, and we would expect this to have, if we were to say, show us all people who had UK eligible but were ineligible for the US, what we would expect is to actually only have a very small people aged between the ages of 18 and 20. And let's just kind of do that now. We say if statement contains eligible and if statement copy, which is not very, it's an inelegant way to say that. Ineligible. This is where we find out I've spelled ineligible wrong the whole time. Great, and we can see here we've got 102 records of all of these people who are who are 18, 19, or 20. Great. But what happens if we actually don't want to have to do this for every country or have to create a brand new field each time? Well, we might want to create a nested if statement. That'll allow us to actually kind of combine both of these formulas into something that we can interpret. So we grab this formula here. And I'm going to open up a new text field here. So what we can do is we copy it all out of the formulas here and just bring them in to a text. You can use any text editor, it doesn't matter what you use. I'm using Visual Studio Code, which is a really nice one, but it's quite technical, I guess. But it's one of the best ones. I would definitely recommend you try it out. So here what we can do is we can say, if we can create a nested if statement, and we can say if age is less than 17, we can say UK eligible. We can then also say, well, actually we can say UK and US ineligible. So we know that they're US ineligible to drink. And here what we can do is if they're over 18, we can then say, instead of using this value, we can just paste in that if statement. So we've already got this nested if statement. And we can see here, and then by editing that value, we can say this person is UK eligible but US ineligible. This person is US and UK eligible. So if we go ahead and edit that formula, which is now a nested if statement, you can see that they are now, we can see that they're US eligible, but they're US ineligible. So they can't drink in the States, but they can drink in the UK. And we actually don't need this formula anymore because we can see here everybody is grouped, and we can just group these by the if statement here. And we can see here we've got a bunch of 18 to 20-year-olds who are UK eligible but US ineligible. We also have the group that is able to drink in all places. And then we can also, if we get rid of this, we can also see we've got the final group, which is, that's US and UK eligible, And then we've got UK eligible but US ineligible. And then finally we've got UK and US ineligible. So these are people who are under 18 and they can't drink in either places. I do not encourage drinking. I do not drink myself. But I hope if you do, you drink responsibly. I don't know what that's just what I hear on the adverts. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope that was useful. If you liked it, like the content, and you might have learned something, so that would be nice. And yeah, I hope to see you at our next video. Thanks again, and goodbye.